Classroom TV.
Good day class, welcome back to Science, Technology, and Society course. So for today's video, I'm going to discuss the human flourishing in relation to science, technology, and society. So after this video, the viewers are expected to describe man, enumerate the needs of human, define human flourishing, and explain the pillars of well-being theory. The understanding of science, technology, and society will be further understood if we can grasp or study the nature of human being, his needs, and how to cater to his needs. To properly start this lesson, let me define human or man. Man is defined as rational animal because he can think and use reason consistently. He is creature whose destiny is to live in the spiritual world and physical world. He is made up of material body and spiritual soul, with a belief on existence and to live in the kingdom of God. Different beliefs, religions, doctrines on the existence of God have been explored by man to satisfy his needs in the spiritual world. On the other hand, he is destined to live in physical world as he is part of it together with other living organisms. With this, science and technology can be used to satisfy man's material world. Now let's proceed to rational choice theory. According to Aristotle, the way human beings do things is by making rational choices. Individuals choose specific actions or scientific investigations that are most in line with their personal preference, hence the introduction of rational choice theory. This is used to model human decision-making. This explains the behavior of a society in their priorities in science and technology to satisfy the human needs. The wide range of different norms, principles, values, and intuitions that characterize today's bioethical discussion are products of man's rational choice to satisfy his material and spiritual needs. This will also help man choose or judge whether biochemical sciences, biotechnology, or nanotechnology threaten or enhance humanity. Then, let's proceed to characteristic of human that evolved over time. Human characteristics evolve over time brought by several factors like changes in the environment, increased knowledge, and culture adaptation. This characteristic includes walking upright. The early records of humanity showed that humans evolved from four-legged species to walking upright individuals. The earliest humans climbed trees and walked on the ground to gather food and find shelter for their survival. This flexibility helped them get around in diverse habitats and cope with changing climates, which eventually helped them in the evolution of their physical attributes. In short, the changes in the physical characteristic of humans were brought about by adaptation to the changing environment. Next, use of different tools. As humans need to survive, there are various activities such as foraging, hunting, and fishing to provide a wide range of food supply led to advances in tools and making tools. They use stones, wood, bone, ivory, and metals and learn to produce and use fire. The development of agriculture, animal domestication, and adaptation of permanent settlements has led to utilization of bronze, which further developed metal smelting, use of copper, and an alloy of tin. Third, domestication of animals. The early humans who were hunters and gatherers started domesticating animals. They settled in one place, learned to tame animals and domesticate them. They also raised animals for clothing, medicine, and shelters. The first animals to be domesticated were goats, followed by sheep and then chickens. Larger animals like oxen or horses were also domesticated for plowing and transportation. These animals were also known as beasts of burden. Fourth, changes in human body. As early as humans is fed to different environments and changed their diet, they evolved body shapes that helped them survive in hot and cold climates. Back in 6 million years ago, the earliest human species were small and usually had long arms and short legs, since most of the food that humans consumed during this time were plant-based. This requires a large digestive tract, a wide rib cage made room for stomach, intestine, and other organs that break down food. In 9 million years ago, some humans have adapted to hot climates. They evolved narrow bodies that help them stay cool. Long legs enable them to travel longer distance. Eating meat and other food that could be digested quickly led to a smaller digestive tract, making more energy available for tall bodies and large brain. In 400,000 years ago, as humans moved to colder climates, their bodies needed to adapt to help them stay warm. They had a short, wide bodies to conserve heat. They depended on both raw meat and cooked food. About 50,000 years ago, because of less physically demanding lifestyles and diet that include meat and cooked foods, humans evolved bones that were slicker and weaker. Fifth, the complexity of the brains. The new challenges that humans face as the environment changes contributed to the evolution of bigger human bodies, larger and more complex human brains that can process and store a lot of information. This helped the early humans in their social interaction and encounter with unfamiliar habitats. As humans evolved, the brain size tripled and become the largest and most complex of any living primate. The ability of an organism to process information about its environment is a driving force behind evolution. The more information the brain receives and the faster it can process this information, the more adequately it will be able to respond to the environmental challenges and the better will be its chances of survival. The evolution of human brain is mainly focused on selective pressures of the physical environment. Example are diet, climate, food availability, and those of the social environment like group size and parental care. Use of language and symbols. During the ancient times, people communicated with each other using language, symbols, or sounds. They used pigments, paintings, and carvings. Some pieces of information were stored in stone paintings, on the walls of caves, and in another canvas. Our ancestors used jewelry and other personal adornments to reflect their identity. These adornments may have represented membership in a group or someone's age, sex, and social status. Modern humans use colors, printing press, sounds, computers, and language to communicate. These different communication tools help humans survive in changing environment. Have you heard the quotation, "No man is an island"? Because the last characteristic that we are going to discuss is the evolution of human social life. Early humans also depended on social life, like sharing food, caring for infants, and building social networks to help them survive the different challenges in the changing environment. A family can be defined as socially recognized group, usually joined by blood, marriage, cohabitation, or adoption, that forms an emotional connection and serve as economic unit of society. Families have become isolated organizations of people dependent on each other for survival and subsistence. From one family to another, they built a society that could basically satisfy the need of each group. Society is defined as a group of people who share common economic, social, and industrial infrastructure. It is a system of human organization generating distinctive cultural patterns and institutions usually providing protection, security, continuity, and a national identity for its members. These groups of people come together because of their commonness in the area where they live, their interests, ideologies, and social welfare. Anthropologists and sociologists often assume that human beings have natural social tendencies and that human social behaviors have non-genetic causes and dynamics. They are learned in the social environment and through social interactions. Societies exist in a complex social environments and adapt themselves to these environments. Societies have the following importance. Number 1, support for each other. People in a society come together and organize in a group to support each other because of their common needs, goals, concerns, and ideologies. It is in the difficult times that one realizes the importance of being a part of society. The support given by society can be physical, emotional, financial, or medical form. A system is implemented for the protection of the people in the society. A leader is selected, social hierarchies, and social codes are established. Second is the formation of social groups. A society is characterized by social networks. A society builds relationships among its members since they support each other and share common interests or territory. Their interactions give rise to strong social bonds that result in a long-lasting relationship. It becomes a foundation of the government and building blocks of all nations. Third is the formation of a culture. Culture defines the pattern of human activity in a society. It is represented by the art, literature, language, and religion of the individuals who form it. People in the community share norms of conduct, beliefs, and ethical standards that led to the formation of culture. It is the society that is a standard of good and evil. Fourth, and the most important, is the regulation of policies and standards. Society is the foundation of the government. The government helps in the management of the natural and human resources that belongs to society and regulates the distribution of public facilities to the individuals. Thus, a society gives a central regulating authority. Last is achieving a common goal. Members of the society usually come together because of their common interests and goals. They serve as a strong support system in life. The society forms a collective movement to work together for what would benefit all of them. Now let's move on to human flourishing. Human flourishing is defined as an effort to achieve self-actualization and fulfillment within the context of a larger community of individuals, each with the right to pursue his or her own efforts. It encompasses the uniqueness, dignity, diversity, freedom, happiness, and holistic well-being of the individual within the larger family, community, and population. Achieving human flourishing is a lifelong existential journey of hopes, achievements, regrets, losses, illness, suffering, and coping. The physical changes in the human body, use of different tools, languages, and symbols, and social responsibility as human all led to satisfying human needs. This is basically because human, like every living organism, need to satisfy their needs physically, emotionally, and psychologically. The different interventions, technologies, and researches that we perform aim to improve lives of living organisms, including human. So according to Aristotle, there is an end to all the actions that we perform which we desire for it. This is what is known as eudaimonia, flourishing, or happiness.
Flourishing is a descriptor of positive mental health. Positive emotions fuel psychological resilience and trigger emotional and physical well-being. A positive outlook in life of humans is rooted to satisfying his basic needs. It is linked to positive psychological and social functioning. Positive thinking individuals or high resilient individuals exhibit faster psychological and emotional recovery from stress. This can trigger positive emotion and physical well-being as well.
Martin E.P. Seligman formulated the well-being theory, where human flourishing is not only focused on the happiness of individuals alone, but also in psychological well-being. Human flourishing rests on the 5 pillars denoted by Handley mnemonic PERMA. P means positive emotion, E, engagement, R, positive relationship, M, meaning, and last, the A, accomplishment. So I will discuss this PERMA one by one. Positive emotion. This includes pleasures, rapture, ecstasy, warmth, comfort, and other emotions that contribute to the pleasant life. These are based on emotional that later could fade away when emotions are gone. Emotion is an effective state of consciousness in which joy, sorrow, fear, hate, or the like is experienced as distinguished from cognitive and volitional state of consciousness.
Second, engagement. This is all about flow, being one with the music, time stopping, and the loss of self-consciousness during an absorbing activity. Experiences would contribute to the engaged life. Being fully engaged means doing everything with excitement. Third, relationships. The feeling of satisfaction, flourishing, or well-being can be experienced when we are in a relationship or with other people. The last time we laugh out loud or have the emotional joy or great feelings because of an accomplishment usually shared with other people is an example. Other people are the best antidote to the downs of life and single most reliable up. Human evolution could also be related to the positive relationship with other people, as other people are also part of the environment where humans adapt. Fourth, meaning. Human beings want a meaningful life, like belonging to and serving something that you believe is bigger than you are. This is to prove your meaning or purpose with other people. A meaningful life is based on man's value or worth. When one loses someone very important, he or she tends to see life as meaningless. On the other hand, if one feels needed and important to someone else, she or he wants to live longer and value life. And last is the accomplishment. Accomplishment is defined as something that is successful or that is achieved after a lot of work or efforts. The achieving life is dedicated to accomplishment for the sake of accomplishment. Accomplishment is often pursued for its own sake, even when it brings no positive emotion, no meaning, and nothing in the way of positive relationship. Some people get the feeling of satisfaction because of their accomplishment, because they are admired or adored by other people. Some perceive winning only for the sake of winning in the pursuit of wealth. Science, technology, and society promotes interdisciplinary perspective upon many hardcore science disciplines. Discover areas like history, sociology, philosophy, economics, political science, psychology, technological forecasting, science policy, research and development management, health and nutrition, agriculture, ecology and environment, and quantitative studies. Human enhancement through technology is ubiquitous. Different technologies were developed to improve health and nutrition. Any advancement in science and technology should be assessed according to the risks and costs they bring to the society and environment, which further affect human flourishing. The assessment should be based on what constitutes human nature and human condition. The social and ethical issues should always be considered in the research and technology development and ultimately to address human flourishing.
So this is the end of our discussion. So thank you for watching and listening. I hope that you just learned something today. Again, thank you and keep safe.